This was a strong move. Went right back through that weekly range. Now, what are we going to do going into the end of the day? Before I get into that, let's go to SPY, show you what I'm talking about. I literally went in another Discord about 3 hours before close, seeing what Bitcoin was doing. And I was like, SPY, by the end of the day, is going to go up, and it's going to tap 381.5. Exceeded it a little bit, which is good. Closed above it, which is real nice. But that was, show you. Here's pre-market. Pre-market dumped hard, right? I think it was like 4%, maybe something like that. But while SPY was down here around the 1SD, Bitcoin had already started pumping. So I'm looking at the bottom of the monthly range right here at 381.4. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely a move. I'm pretty sure I made that right around in here when it was getting into the new daily range. It was just a no-brainer. I was looking at the other charts too, obviously. And I said it was going to make a move up there. And of course, people do what people do. Ha, ha, ha. Sure. 30. This is strong in my opinion. Closing up in this, I might add, very tight weekly range. Very tight. That was a power move today. There's no doubt about it. They were like, no. Right? The scum bears, pre-market, dumped it down. Bulls were like, not today. We're talking about a 0.28% weekly range. SPY's going to move hard. I also went along in there and I was like, next stop, SPY, that 385, top of the monthly is about almost 340. Or, I mean, sorry, Jesus, 390. So, is what I'm thinking tomorrow. You're going to see a gap up to the middle of the monthly range. Probably about 385 pre-market. Post-market held pretty damn well. Real well. All right? Held up real well post-market. So it would not shock me at all to see a big pre-market pump tomorrow. Let me see here. Where's 1SD? The new daily range is going to be right in this region, probably. Right around today's daily. Not going to change much, to be honest. Probably going to tighten up a little bit. And then, like I said, pre-market pump up to about 385 area, 386. Maybe a little bit above. Maybe it'll shock us. Maybe it'll fly all the way up. All right? Have a nice big pump pre-market SPY. Be a beautiful thing. I'll back up Bitcoin. Let's see here. This will be interesting going into the end of the day. See if the top side of the 68.3 is going to support the PA going into the end of the day. That'd be nice. But this was a nice little move, right? To get back up above the weekly. Definitely want to close today above the weekly. You get these first couple days closing up above this weekly range, we could get a nice move out of it. We really could. Now, so what would be a good target? The bottom of the monthly again, 21.5 area, right here, right? This is a fresh month. Big monthly range. If you go back to like the first stream after this monthly close, I even said we are probably going to have a massive range. But here's the center of the monthly. We could fly up to a little bit above 23, maybe get up in this monthly in range the rest of the month in between like 21.5 and 24.8ish. Could have a nice range in that monthly. That would not shock me at all. If these bulls can get it back up in this monthly range, you're going to see some movement to the top side, right? And I've been saying this. There's a lot of selling that's been going on. That is exhausted. There is a lot of seller exhaustion. Oversold, overbought, that's a bunch of crap. I want to see what's going on. That's why we have the APP, right? That literally tells me, what's happening with that price percentile. I want to know how exhausted they are. And we already looked at the you know what, let me pull that up real quick. I want to take one more peek. Just buy and sell pressure here. Yeah, it looks good, man. I'm telling you. And that's the 4 hour. I mean, it is pegged too. I mean, it is pegged. Sell pressure's been diminishing. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this daily. Yeah, this is what you want to see. This is what you want to see in the buy and sell pressure. You want to see that sell pressure building. You want to see the buy pressure decreasing. This is a recipe for a nice move to the top side. And I just gave you those monthly ranges. Now, here's the weekly on Bitcoin. Finally, I mean, we're starting to get these last 3 weeks. The sell pressure is diminishing, right? We need to see this continue. Starting to just get a tiny little bit of buy pressure. This will change. This would be great if we can get a nice buy pressure candle. Let's say, I don't know, 20 to 40% here. That would be nice. That'd be real nice. But I'm going to be watching, waiting, because 4 hour daily, right? Here's the thing. Look at the 3 day. This is kind of a weird ass read. Both decreasing. The buy pressure started to come in and they kind of laid off. See what difference. 2 days, a little something different. Here's the one thing on all the macro, we're seeing a decrease in sell pressure. That's what we want, right? We want to get this thing moving again. 100%. Yeah, I mean, everything. Medium to low time frames look good. Macro time frames, sell pressure is decreasing. I like you. Let's check this chart out real quick. Here's the 4 hour. The Fisher's strong. I mean, literally on that previous 4 hour close, set up a little bit of bear div, right? Now, this is what I want to see. If we have a strong end of the day going into tomorrow, I want to see a bounce. I want to see a bounce off this zero mean. That's what I want. The DLP, there was no divergence. Fisher either. Log return Z score. Whoops. Nothing to speak of. I mean, yeah, I'm not even going to go there because both these highs tapped that 99% confidence interval. Now, that being said, the 4 hour log return Z score is to the top side up here. Excuse me. Usually this is going to want to make its way back down. Doesn't have to, right? This whole 4 hour move, it gets up here, right? Just kind of bouncing around. I'd like to see this a nice bullish reset, right? Not a nice this log return Z score just slowly over tomorrow make its way to the bottom, while Bitcoin goes sideways, maybe a little bit to the top side, maybe a little pullback like I just showed over here. Get back up here, right down into this weekly range. This is important right here, right? A little over 20K. And that's interesting that the top of the weekly is right above 20K. Are the bulls going to freaking support this level? These are the only true support and resistances. But I don't care what kind of support and resistance is. Bitcoin is a wrecking ball. All right? It can bust through these ranges, just like it can bust through the probabilities of the Laplace distribution. There's no doubt. That's why we love this asset. Very, very volatile. And I'll tell you right now, if you have these indicators, go over to a Forex pair and watch how those distribution levels in these price action volatility range are so respected, right? There's not a lot of volatility in that market. And those algos are going to flip on those levels, right? So it's very interesting to see what happens on the top of this weekly. What I'm getting at, you want to see a bounce here. Low side, middle of the weekly. Okay, because this new daily range, it's going to be right. I'll tell you what, if we can close up here above the weekly, the new daily range is going to be above the weekly for sure. Especially if we get a late day pump here. go back up, come down, maybe test the top, then go back up. You're going to see a new daily range above the weekly. This is how it all starts. You got to get these volatility levels correct, right? You want the daily above the weekly, above the monthly. Now, we already know the monthly is up there pretty well. That's why I could see this month getting up into this monthly range. Like I said, ranging within it. It's a pretty big range, couple grand. And while that's happening, these daily and weekly ranges are getting into that new monthly. I'm telling you right, if we can get to the end of this month and have the daily and weekly price action volatility ranges above 23K, I'll call it right now. This market is going to turn around. Once you use this indicator a lot, especially with the distribution levels, you'll start to see how powerful it is. All right. I just got done on a rant over in that other Discord. I can't remember. Something to the fact like traditional TAs, sidewalk chalk, fucking on charts. Get your life together, people. Stop using that bullshit. Price follows returns. Why in the world would you want to use indicators based on the statistical strength of price? It doesn't make any sense. And trust me, the six of us and our staunch supporters that have been with us through a lot of bullshit. The new people have no idea what we've been through. And we went through it all, strong as ever, right? Through all the FUD, all the attacks. Here we are. We're still here. Literally a couple years later, which is amazing. But you start to understand, right? You start to have this realization of, what the hell was I doing? But you got to think, that's the echo chamber. That's what people are being taught. You're not going to go online and find any of this anywhere. Go try to find somebody that's got these indicators out there. There's one other group of people I know that are making them, right? They don't even trade though. So you can have as many engineers as you want building indicators, but if you don't have any good pilots, you are screwed. And that goofy ass over there knows that. He doesn't have anybody like he used to have. He just doesn't. All right? His ego just got the best of him, man. And he lost his best fucking pilots. Literally. Lost them. Don't want anything to do. Yes, it is. For sure, time to fly. So you just get to this point once you start to make this transition where you're like, what the hell is happening here? How do people not know about all this? That's where the whole scam comes in. And look at the world we live in. People to think that this is really not happening, man, you need to wake up. You need to crack them eyes. There's a lot of foolish shit going on in this world. This isn't anything, right? This is just how the wealthy the wealthy big firms take advantage of retail traders and always have. They're pushing traditional TA on the masses. They're behind a lot of it, right? Go to Investopedia. I mean, you don't find, now you can go into Investopedia and look up some of these words and stuff. And there'll be stuff in there about the distribution and things. You're not going to find people sharing these indicators with others publicly, right? It's not going to happen. They keep it on lockdown. And another thing they have working on their side is that it is not easy to learn. That's why I tell people, if you come over here and you're ready for the long haul, you see something, drop traditional TA. Don't ever look at it again. Erase all the indicators out of your saved indicators on TradingView. Shit can your old charts. Start new. Because when a move happens like this, right? We have this nice move today, and you're not seeing it with the VEPS, right? Volatility, entropy, probability, and statistics. you're gonna revert back to what got you here in the first place. People do it all the time. You're gonna have FOMO, so you're gonna go over and you're gonna look at the RSI. You're gonna look at the Stokes. Well, YouTube Jimmy told me if I see this happening, we're good to go. I mean, it's all a joke. You really have to leave all that stuff in the rearview mirror. I mean, for you to get on a path of learning this in a timely manner, you cannot revert back to that stuff. It's just it's like taking one step forward, two steps back. And it's like when you start to learn all of this at Alpha Trading, it's at a crawling pace. And this is just like the NFT market, the shitcoin market. Traders don't have any patience at all. None. If you don't have patience and you don't understand volatility and entropy, the distribution, you're wasting your time trading these markets. You're going to get wrecked. So it's going to be at a snail's pace at the beginning. Learning volatility. That's the most important thing, right? You got to understand volatility first. That's why we put the chart together for the pro account, right? So you can learn volatility. We gave you an indicator so you can start seeing the divergence between the returns and price action. I'll say it again because people don't understand what really divergence is. Divergence is just an imbalance in buy and sell pressure. When there's an imbalance, there is a divergence created. If you're using a statistical indicator that is based on price, you're not going to get there. Those divergence plays might work sometimes, but they don't work all the time. Divergence between returns and price action is literally telling you the return on your investment is diminishing, right? And then you start to understand the types of divergence. Is this a trend changing divergence or is this a continuation divergence, right? Is it regular bull? Is it hidden bull? Is it regular bear? Is it hidden bear? These are the things people need to figure out first. That's why we put that chart together. That chart, you should not be able to take that chart coming from traditional TA, take that chart into your favorite exchange and start trading low time frames. You got to understand it first. That's what that chart is for. That's why when we see people and they're like, asking questions, well, I want to see a signal. I want to see the signals. Show me a trade using this chart. That's not what that chart is for. That chart is for you to learn about volatility and the divergence between the returns and price action. The most important thing you could ever learn if you're diving into trading this way. Then once you get that down and you've been in the Discord for a couple months, a few months, however long, we had a guy here for a year that just upgraded, who hardly ever interacted. He's just freaking lurking on the sidelines, reading the chats probably every day, looking at everybody's charts, maybe paper trading the pro chart. Don't even know. And then one day pops right out of the bottle, hey, I want the pro trader account. That just makes us just smile from ear to ear, right? Because we know that person was just sitting in the background absorbing all of this information and then finally was like, let's do this, which is fantastic. And we're getting a little spree of people right now coming in, which is literally fantastic. Right? We don't advertise. We don't. This is all word of mouth. Somebody tells somebody that tells somebody. Somebody might maybe sees a chart one of us posts somewhere. That's how people find us. We don't want to advertise. We don't want to shill our product. The product shills itself. We don't want people coming here because they're like, well, this was just a great advertisement for your product. We want to check it out. We want people that are determined, right? They come over here and they're just like, I'm ready for a change. And I always tell people, if you find us, do yourself a favor, stick it out. Don't go back. Don't go back to the traditional ways. Right? Stick with it. Stick with it. You will pat yourself on the back. Everybody learns at a different pace, but at some point, it's going to click, right? It's going to click. And when it does, it's a no-brainer. This is what professional traders are made of. For real, right? Every good professional trader, trust me, they have got a great edge behind them. All right. You'll hear people in traditional TA say they have an edge. Man, I don't even know what an edge is. They literally don't. Right? The edge encompasses everything. Every facet of trading. You know what one of the hardest things is? Operating your exchange fast enough. If you're down and you're trading on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, you better be good at what you do. You better know how to get limit orders in. Because if you're taking little scalps like that and you're not throwing in limit orders and lowering your fees, some exchanges having 0 fees with limit orders if you stake their exchange tokens, it's like those fees will eat away at your profits. That's why one of the hardest things to do is to literally understand how to trade. Everybody's like, oh, I'm a trader. Woo-hoo-hoo. There's very few. I'm not even going to lie. In the last 3 years, the amount of real traders I could count on my hands and feet, man. There's a lot of people out there that say they're traders. Look, there's traders and then there's people that trade. There is a huge difference. Just like there's golfers or there's people that golf, right? There's poker players or there's people that play poker. There's a huge difference. And what's even more funny is that the people that are playing, right, that are playing golf, playing poker, right, they are the ones that actually really think that they know what they're doing, which is a clown show and a half. They're doing literally nothing but most of the time losing money. People forget this is the internet. People are lying like crazy, right? That's why in the beginning, and I don't do it anymore. I'm not even trading right now, right? Everybody knows that. I've been off for months now, months. But in the beginning, I would show trades. I would show my P&L. I would do things like that, right? Just to say, hey, man, this is the real deal. You want to become a real trader? It's all about P&L. It's all about understanding how to be a professional trader, right? It's not an easy thing to do because it is a big basket. And like I said before, being able to operate the exchange properly is the hardest part. You give these indicators enough time and they're going to start shining for you. But if you can't take that information and pump it into an exchange efficiently, you're in trouble. That's why a testnet's a good idea. Best case scenario, test net, 1 minute chart. See if you got what it takes for 50 $100, $150, $200 scalps. See if you're quick enough. Bitcoin moves fast. You got to know what the hell you're doing, right? You got to know where the levels are. That's why this chart is just, oh my God, so fantastic to understand where you're at when it has to do with price action, volatility ranges, and distribution levels, normal distribution and Laplace distribution. So important to be able to understand how to literally put the trades in. So I've heard people say before, well, if I do this trade, blah, 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 well, the percentages just aren't right. I'm not even making any money. Well, yeah, you're probably market. The fees are just killing you. Fees are absolutely killing you. You got to get it to where your limit orders have zero trading fees. And almost every exchange has some sort of an option. It's usually staking their token. And you don't get the staking rewards either. Your reward is in the fees. And if you're a full-time trader, you don't want anything better. Screw the staking rewards. They're worthless compared to not having trading fees. If 4 or 5 days a week, you're intraday trading 8 to 12 hours a day or something, 10 to 15 trades, that's going to add up over time if you're not trading properly. If you're not putting in those limit orders. But people get confused. Like people always want to know, well, how do you get your entries? How do you do this? And I've told people a million times, you got to wait until the volatility takes hold. You got to wait until you're literally looking at the variance. You start having an outlier in the variance, it's a no-brainer. Go to the freaking order book, drop down a couple points, throw a limit order in. If you've ever watched BTC, is it ever just wow? No, man. It boop, 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 up and down. I mean, you'll have little pullbacks. That's how I get my limit orders filled, right? On those tiny little pullbacks. It's easy to get a limit order filled, but then you're dealing with, you need to know where to take your profit, and you can't just slam it in. You got to watch that move happening. You know where your profit's going to be taken. Maybe it was at the top of the weekly range here, right? And when this candle opens up and that volatility's flaring, then you throw it in. These exchanges are trading against its customers. That's why you hear a million times, oh my God, price action, or that move came down, hit my stop loss, and then just went straight back up. Yeah, well, because all these people are learning the same very poor risk management strategies from the same damn people. So where people have stop losses, there's a whole damn pile of them. All the retail traders are using the same strategies, and they're throwing freaking stop losses in a system where the exchange operators can see them, and they're trading against you. Do you know what that does to your... It's not good. That's why I do not put orders in. I just don't do it. I'll have that stop loss in my head. And so I'll get that limit order filled, right? But this is what's tricky. Say I get that limit ordered filled, like on a 5-minute or a 1 minute. It's like, if that candle continues down and closes below that entry, I'll just get out real quick. I'm not going to take the chance of having that move get nasty on me. And before I know it, I'm down 5-10%. Just going, what the fuck? Why am I in this trade? Why didn't I get out? Once you get really good at this, you're batting well, right? You got a hell of a batting average. Let's see here. Well, that's kind of what I just said, Imars. It was like, I can show you a million of examples how I would trade it, but that chart literally is a training tool for you to learn about volatility, right? And the divergence between the returns and price action. I can pull it up here. Let me see. Because they're no-brainers. But I've been looking at this stuff for a while. That's why you got to learn first. You got to learn it. like asking to, see a trade using the pro chart. It's just telling you, it's going to get you in trouble more than anything. What is this, a daily? Go down to 5 minute. Let me take a peek here. Oh, that's good. No divs. No divs on the downside. Volatility bands are starting to tighten up on the AVQ. That's good. So what you're looking for down here on these low time frames is volatility to flash, right? Volatility's at 0. Volatility's at 0. Volatility's at 0. Volatility was at 0. And when you get real good, you don't need flashes. You're waiting for volatility to expand again, right? You're waiting for volatility to expand again. And when you see it's low on all, let's see. The 2400 had not had full expansion since back here. What was that, yesterday on the move, right? That got us back up above that weekly. And this was the dump down below the weekly, the pump earlier, back up above it. But when you see the volatility on the 2400 really starting to go, and this is using all three. If I'm literally just trading volatility, I'm using one length. I'm waiting for these flashes right here, right? I'm waiting for the volatility to start to expand, and I'm looking for the correlation break. There it is right there, negatively correlated. Boop, 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 boop. And just those 3 5-minute candles, 22.31. Wow, that was literally about an $800 move. 3 5-minute candles. Boom, boom, boom. And we're talking about taking $100, $200 profit just real fast. Boop. Winner. That's what this is all about. Profit and loss. You're only going to make good profit if you take it. You're not going to have a lot of loss if you limit it. It's so simple, but people just blow right over all that. They want to get in some long-term position where they're just, oh my God, hey guys, look at my 1000% move I'm in on. It's just all fucking ego and just madness. And then you want to see their P&L, and it's like 0.3. It's like, what the? Oh, I thought you were a real trader. You're just giving money away. That's okay. I'm sure you've been on the other side of my trades before. So it's just ridiculous. Started here on the 5-minute. All right, this is what you want to see. You want to see the div starting to build. I mean, there wasn't a lot on the 5. Let's take a look on the 15. Nope. Not to each side, right? No div to each side. That's where you're like, all right, this is straight up, very even battle going on. Very even. There's not an imbalance. I can just tell by looking at the returns and price, right? You got this move to the top side, all higher highs, man. All higher highs to the top. And then if you go over here, so how would I have traded that? Well, look at the outlier, right? Look at the outlier. Hell, I'm out of this trade probably when that outlier turns. Did I get all the move? No, but I got a huge chunk of it. I got a huge chunk of that outlier. That's how powerful this indicator, all right? Entropy. The entropy indicator with the predictor. It's very powerful to the point where the guy making these things is like, hey, the predictor's probably better than the correlation, and that's just like walking up behind me and fucking stabbing me with a knife, right? He's probably laughing right now because he knows I love correlation. But hey, man, I look at the predictor and then I understand what the predictor is built upon. It's like, oh, well, hey, let's go. Let's move. And I like it. And when this entropy is dropping like this, boom, 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 like right here, and it's right when the outlier ended too. You get the first hiccup in the entropy dropping. And the outlier's ending over here. No brainer. Profit. Take profit. Did you miss the entire move? Or the entirety of the move? Yeah. But you got a large percentage of it. This is all about winning. Win, 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 wins. That's all it's about. It doesn't matter if it's a $100 profit, $1,000 profit, $10,000 profit, a $5 profit. It's all about winning. It's all about profit and loss. At the end of the year, If you've got a good profit and loss, you're fucking making money. You're making good money, especially if you are fucking trading 4 or 5 days a week. Most people aren't going to see it. Because if you go to somebody like, hey, look, I just got this $100 move. Fantastic. They'll just laugh at you. $100, what's that? First off, it's like, yeah, well, that $100 move, I longed 5 Bitcoins though. So in those 2 5-minute candles, I made $500 in 10 minutes. This is where the people don't understand what we're really talking about making money. They think it's all about getting in some stupid ass swing trade, all right, and getting lucky, getting in a move, and just sitting in it. I've seen people show moves from like bottoms all the way to fucking top. Look what I did. And then I'm just like, oh, nice. Look what you could have done if you were intraday trading this volatility. You're not just sitting in that damn move all the way to the top side with all these pullbacks. You're trading the up moves, the down moves, the up moves, the whole entire ebb and flow of volatility all the way to the top. Or all the way to the bottom, whichever way you're going. But let me get back over to this chart for you.
Cheers, Bilbo.
Yo, what up, Yash?
Hey, man. Hip hip hooray. I love it, too.
What'd you say? Nice.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I know you're moving.
Yeah. They're real busy packing the box, even late at night or whatever now. Great going out.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. So let's go to. Let me pop this on freaking. I want to see this move on SPY on the Pro chart. This is going to be interesting. Oh, woo! Big time.
What the heck are we looking at here?
Yes. So here's SPY's move. Look at pre-market. All right, we get this massive pre-market dump. Volatility expanded all 3 lengths. Significantly negatively correlated. All right. You see at the end of the day, this little move, the volatility started expanding. Kept expanding. Look at the break in correlation. It went from significantly positive to significantly negative immediately. Right? That's no damn brainer. But look what happened the rest of the freaking day. Look at these, especially, let me see here when I see that. So look where the volatility started contracting. Boom, 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 boom to 0, all negatively correlated. When you have contraction negatively correlated, the price action is going to continue to walk. It was even contracting here. All right, negatively correlated. Right here, look, I'm telling you right now, looking at this chart, 15-minute, you got volatility flashing on the 981 and the 2400. This thing is going to have a big old move pre-market tomorrow. And I already said probably to the top side. Like I said, I really like the way this ended. They truck post-market, got down to like 381 flat. And right before post close, whoop, man, that thing zipped right back up. From what I'm seeing on this freaking chart, especially now, if any of these moves on this 15-minute, if we had big return candles like 2SD, 3SD moves, I'd be like, oh shit, a lot of lower lows, guys. I mean, there's no div here. There's no bear div on the 15. This could be a massive pre-market pump tomorrow. Because, yeah, the significant negative correlation, it just started there, man. It started on the top side on its way down. It's not broke. Yeah. It's not broke. You're good. It just went significant. Bam! Just like this, right? It was significantly positively correlated. It was such a strong volatile freaking move. It freaking just it's flipped immediately, significantly negative. But then right here started a nice slow, right, expansion while it was positively correlated. Had a few tiny little breaks, but then going into the end of the day, contracting, negatively correlated on all of them, and it walked up the rest of the day. This is good stuff. I love this
Volatility's got
spot
a
chart. What's that?
big way to volatility's got a big way to expand on
Yeah.
this chart we're looking at on this time frame.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
your one at the bottom right. That looks very primed.
Yeah. And tomorrow, this is exactly what I'm looking at going in, in pre-market. I'm just like, ho, we got massive volatility flashing going on. Let me see what the 4 hour, look at the 4 hour. 4 hour just started to expand right before the close. Significantly positively correlated, starting to expand, contracting. Well, contracting, negatively correlated right here. If we have a big move pre-market, first 4 hour candle tomorrow, you're going to see expansion on that 2400 again. You'll see a break in correlation in 981 will go significantly positively correlated, and you'll see more expansion. What's it at right now? 16.16. We're looking at a 40 on the 525, 62. Yeah, there's so much room for expansion on the 4 hour. This is making me even more sure that this baby is probably pre-market, and going into the end of that first 4 hour candle of the day, you're going to see SPY up here around 390. I bet this baby's going to fly off the hook tomorrow, and that's just what the indicators are telling me. But that's why I tune in early, right? I tune in early, and when that bell rings, man, I'm on those low time frames. I'm like, all right, is this thing going to shift? Are we going to see a break in correlation the other way? Because it can happen. That's why the most important thing about volatility trading, you have to be patient. You have to be patient and wait for that volatility to take hold to give you a good freaking read. And once you get that, and if it's a highly volatile move, you are going to see an outlier on the variance, which is telling you, hey, we're getting ready to have a 2 standard deviation move or better. Let me let's see, where would I? Yeah, we can start out right here at the beginning. Let's blow this up here. Actually, there we go. What's that? And okay, little measurement tool. 16. Let's pop this baby on real quick. And I can tell by even looking to this was a freaking 99.7 Laplace move, man. Outside of the distribution, came back down, finding support on the 95.4. This is on Bitcoin, right? Recent move. Why am I starting the projection here? This move got broke apart. Like I would start a projection here. Looks like it got outside the 95.4. Had a bounce off the top side of the 95.4. If we throw this back here, that's probably exactly what you're going to see. Above, came back down, tested the top side, moved right outside of the 99.7 from down here, guarantee it. But you can start a projection here. You can start a projection here. Here's where the outlier was. All right. And you can see when you have an outlier, how much more of a powerful move. Let me see some real quick. Yeah, I mean, had a little bit of an outlier back here at the tippy top of that move. These last 3 candles you could have definitely got a good trade in. 19,444. Yeah, 200 and about $250 move, and we're talking about $100 scalps all day long. You see an outlier, dude? Put a W in the column. Winner, chicken dinner. Take your profit. That's the problem. People get emotionally attached. You do not get emotionally attached to your trades when you're trading like this. This is all about making money, putting W's, all right? Putting W's in, not L's. I'm not saying you're not going to have any L's, but you know what's great? The L's, you're not going to take a big loss. Because you're not emotionally attached, you're dumping the trade. See ya. Don't even give a shit what it does after that, right? What if it continued to have the outlier? It's like, all right, well, hey, what if it didn't? What if the outlier went negatively correlated and it dumped $1,000 on me? If you're trading,
a very good short.
think about that for a second. If you're trading with 5 Bitcoins and you let that shit get away from you, you just lost $5,000. It can get ugly real fast, real fast. There's nobody I know that has not been in that situation because they just could not let themselves get out of the trade. Just get out. It's only going to get worse. And some people might say, well, what if I get out now and it just goes down another few $100 and then it goes up? It's like, you don't give a shit. You're waiting for the next outlier. What if it didn't do that? And now you're underwater 2K. Telling you, it's a much better plan to just get out. Get out of the position. Barely take a loss, right? Take a 1% loss, 0.5% loss. I don't even take that. I get out immediately. Like I said, if that candle closes below my entry, I'm just going to get out. There's plenty more trades where that one came from.
Yeah.
And this is especially if you're chasing it, throwing in limit orders, trying to chase the move. So it's better just to get out 100%.
I just want to add to that. There are times you can see like on a 5-minute candle, even price
Right.
drop like $500. It'll drop like $1,000 in the 15-minute candle or whatever. Like at that point, when it's moving that fast, you really should be, even if you're not trading the 1 minute, you should be looking at it because you should know when to get the hell out. Because it can really go against you. And yeah, you can wait for that 5-minute move. Totally should in most cases. But when it's flying off the handle, I mean, you can see it sometimes on the 1 minute very clearly, like we saw the other day. And you could have easily gotten out of that trade, frankly, even gotten into the short. But even if you didn't get in the short, you could have gotten out of that trade without any big loss at all. Waited 10 minutes or whatever, it would have hurt a lot. So keep that in mind. When shit's flying off the handle, you can really move really fast. Look at the lower time frame where you trade just to know if you should be getting out or not. And you probably should.
Yeah.
It comes down to discipline, and just sticking to your discipline. If you know that you're wrong, just get up. And if you know that you're right, stay in. And with the indicators, they're good enough to at least. Here's another thing for the new guys. When you get out of the trade or you feel like you need to exit the trade because it's going against you, you will have a valid reason to see exactly what is going on. It's not an emotional feeling. But on the charts, there's math to tell you why you were wrong. Not some RSI that got turned around randomly or some stochastic that didn't break through the bullish control zone. No, that's bullshit. This you'll see percentage returns. Oh, obviously decaying a lot faster than I thought. Boom. That's why my long is in dust, you could say. It's very easy to observe why you went wrong. Previous trading strategies, very hard. You're going to go have a huge notebook for 3 years, writing down every single trade. You're wasting your time. You're missing opportunity here, if that's what you have to do. But anyway.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. See, we're pretty much over here. We're just a support group for recovering traditional TA addicts. So, right here, right here's where the outlier started on that 15-minute. I'm watching this. This candle closed above the 95.4. I'm like, as soon as I see this one open up below and it start pumping through, what am I doing? I'm looking for the 99.7. So if it's on that same candle and the 99.7 is about 21.50, I'm probably throwing in a take profit. I'm probably front running that by about $50. That candle wouldn't have hit it. It would have opened up. This would have been a little quick pullback. I wouldn't have gave that too much longer. And as soon as that turned around though, started pumping, bam, I'm right here, probably taking profit at 20.2. Right? About a $50 front run of that fucking 99.7 right there. I mean, yeah. And that's how you use the distribution. You already know you're having a fat tail event. As soon as it gets by this 95.4, yeah, we're having the outlier. But that outlier can go to a 99.7. Hell, can go to a 99.9. Right? But this is all about making sure you take your profit. And look what happened on the next candle. Woo! All right, so boom, you get a rejection right off the 99.7. It just went enough by it where you would have got your limit take profit filled. Would have been a beautiful thing. Big time. But yeah, that's what's great. That's why if trading is something you want to do professionally, you are mad dogging the pro chart. You're learning about volatility. You're starting to see what we talk about, the divergence between price action and returns. And then once you get volatility down, it's a no-brainer. It's a literal no-brainer to upgrade to the other package. That's not a shill. That's just, hey, it's a no-brainer. You've learned the volatility. Right, you've got a little bit of a entry into the whole divergence play, understanding the divergence, and that's why when I'm up here and I'm looking on a weekly, there's been bull div building, right? On log return Z-score, finally getting out above these confidence intervals, finally. Here's the thing. We had some bull div, a couple little stabs of bull div here. We're starting to get a decent weekly move here. Here's what needs to happen. You're going to want to see these bands just blow up. You want to see, this is what's tough. Look at the high on the returns oscillator. We're talking about 31 on the weekly. This needs to be a powerful move. This has got to, because what are you setting up right here? Hidden bear. You're setting up some hidden bear divergence right now. This is one of those things where, hey, we need a $10,000 week to the top side. That's what we need to be safe. I've been waiting on the Fishers. What did I say about these? They were drifting down in lockstep the whole time. We had this little move, started to turn up, and then had that other dump. All four Fisher lengths have all flipped bullish. All right. Fisher transforms price action into a Gaussian distribution. Look at the DLP. There is div, log return Z-score, returns oscillator, DLP. You got bull div all over, right? Entropy for this down move, way down. Starting to go back into randomness, right? Starting to go back into randomness. If this move's going to continue, it's probably going to be a move to the top side as entropy is literally going back into randomness. We've seen it before. Just because you have a big move, it doesn't have to trend. That's why we love these indicators. And now I'm really loving this predictor. I mean, it is just rock solid money. I was going back and just on low time frames and just be going, okay, so what if you enter a trade, on the next candle, the predictor's giving you the direction. Is it profitable? Yeah, 100% profitable from what I saw. Especially if we're talking about $100 scalps. I mean, oh my God, it's incredible.
All right. That is amazing.
Yeah, and and the predictor is coming literally from moving averages that have a Gaussian distribution, right? Or they're built on log returns. This is what you want. You don't want exponential moving averages and simple moving averages. It's all crap, all based on price. Don't need it. It's worthless. So yeah, we got something good cooking here with all these new upgrades on the indicators. And you notice I don't have the Shannon entropy anymore. Don't need it. It's right here with the predictor.
Yeah. I
With
looked
the
over at my screen right now. I was like, oh.
Yeah, this is what's powerful about the predictor. You're going back into randomness when the predictor flips bearish, stays bearish through the next trend, all the way down.
Ooh.
This is on a weekly fucking chart. That's why I'm not saying you can't trade high time frames with this stuff. I'm just saying this move right here. I mean, look at some of the wicks. There was so many good trades to the downside and to the upside. It's ridiculous. And look lately, right? Almost got a tap on the third standard or the 99.7 Laplace 2 right here. Now we're back up in the 68.3 zone. I mean, it's time. In my opinion, it's time for this market to turn around. Really is. You see something here? So the weekly. Let's see, and we've already looked at that. I'm going to move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the recent move we're having here. Bammo. I showed this the other day, right? These 2 weeks, man, this thing ran right down to the 99.7 Laplace. Look where we're at now. Pulled right back up, went sideways. There was a 95.4% chance you're going to close a weekly candle up in here. Tried here, perfect rejection. Right? Went up a little bit here, dumped out, wasn't having it. Maybe this is the week. I'm telling you, we close a weekly candle inside this 95.4. Here's the bottom side of the 68.3, 26K, 25.8, dropping every week. Let me see here. So this is what I'm looking at. And you start the projection from back here, it's the same thing. We're making a run at the 95.4 now. Let me see if we back this all the way up. So from the longer projection, look, 25K. 25. I'm telling you, this week I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something this week. Really am. Let's see. And I do like, I mean, that bull div, been building. This is what I've been waiting for too. I don't trade the Fishers. This is just helping me with my overall bias. What is happening? Because I'll have a bias on the macro. I'll have a bias intraday. I'm telling you right now, when those bias, that's what you're looking for. You got to be able to look at a macro bias and understand what that means when you're trading intraday. Those biases line up, it's party time. I might be even adding to my exchange so I can even put more risk on with that bias. You got the macro bias and the intraday bias to the top side, right?
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a fucking very beautiful thing. And that's what helps me manage my risk. Do I want to take some risk off? It's not like I'm not going to trade. Most people, they think that's what taking risk off is. Oh, well, I'm just not going to trade today. And people are just kooks, man. You got to understand what risk is, where to put risk on, where to take risk off. You're not going to stop trading. There's always volatility in Bitcoin. But if I'm seeing stuff in the charts that's telling me to take a risk off, hey, I'm trading with 1 Bitcoin today. I don't care what's going on. I'm just going to limit the risk. When you're counter trading that bias, same thing, limit the risk. Like if my bias on the macro in the intraday is to the top side, I'm hammering the top side trades. I'm not saying there's not going to be a counter trade scalp in there in the intraday. There's going to be, there always is if you're trading the 5-minute, 1-minute charts. But if I'm trading with 5 Bitcoins with my bias to the top side scalps, I'm using 1 or 2 to the downside. So,
yeah, it's less dangerous, less panicky. You cover your potential losses to the downside. Obviously, if the intraday and the weekly are bullish, if you mess up the short,
yep.
it does help balance you and keep you a lot safer. Trying to stop the trend, you could say, I think.
For sure. Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, and it falls down to greed. At the end
Exactly.
of the day. You know, I did it as well earlier last week.
Oh yeah.
Whole bags, gulp the whole bag, sculpt the whole bag, and then super volatile day. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna actually try and maximize returns, and boom, 6 hours worth of trading, you can lose it in 15 minutes,
Oh, pretty sure.
and
Yeah,
that's just not, that's just being too eager, too big of a size to maintain those returns.
definitely. All right, you guys. I'll wrap it up for today. Nice little sesh. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. And I'll probably, like I usually do, if I miss a day, like we did Monday, we'll probably do one on Saturday too. We don't usually get a big weekend crowd, but maybe we will. Got some motivated traders. I love it seeing some of the same people. Fantastic. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.